Hello students, in my last class we discussed about the different elements of weather and climate, and in short I had explained you about the different elements of weather and climate. We were in the book we were going through the element of weather and climate, that is temperature, and we were reading about the factors controlling the temperature. We had a detailed discussion on the latitude as a factor that controls the temperature. Now we'll move today in today's class we'll move to the next factor that controls temperature is altitude. Altitude refers to the height. Altitude is the height above the sea level. So, I will give the reading and you will go through the book. You will see your book and you will try to understand what is written in the book. So, altitude, the atmosphere is not directly heated by the sun but indirectly by the heat of the earth. So, last class also I had a discussion that the atmosphere is not getting directly heated by the sun. The sun is not heating up the atmosphere directly, but indirectly the atmosphere is getting heated as the water vapor and the dust particles that is present in the atmosphere absorbs the heat of the sun. The water vapor and the dust particles present in the atmosphere absorbs the heat of the sun, which results in heating up the earth's atmosphere. Okay, so close to the earth's surface the layers of the air are dense and they also contain a lot of water vapor and dust particles which absorb the heat. So as I told you, and as we have read already, we have the knowledge about, when we were reading about the layers of the atmosphere, we already have the knowledge that the layer near the earth's surface is the densest. It is dense and the presence of all the gases, water vapor and dust particle is most near the earth's surface. And as we go up in height, we already know that as we go up in height, the density of the density of the atmosphere that decreases, and it goes on becoming thinner as we go higher in altitude. But the layers of the air are most dense near the earth's surface, and it contains water vapor and dust particles which absorb the heat, and as a result of the heat, what happens, this atmosphere is heated up because the water vapor and dust particles absorb the heat and that heats up this atmosphere. Okay, as we move on to higher altitude, the layers of the air become thinner and they contain less amounts of water vapor and dust particles. So it's very obvious that as we move on in height, then what happens, these layers of the air become thin, and the presence of the amounts of water vapor and dust particles is also less, or it decreases in amount as we go up in height. The heat absorbed is less. As there is the presence of water vapor and dust particles is less, that means that the heat absorbed is also less. Therefore, the temperature decreases with increase in altitude. This explains why hill stations are colder than plain lands. So, we now know the fact that why as we go up in height, the temperature decreases, right? So, as we now discussed that what happens when we go up in height, the layers of the air become thinner, and when the layers of the air become thinner, then what happens? They contain less amounts of water vapor and dust particles, and you know that the water vapor and dust particles are responsible for capturing the heat and making the atmosphere hot. But as the water vapor and the presence of water vapor and dust particles is decreasing, what happens? The heat absorbed is less, and so when we move up in height, the temperature decreases with increase in height. And so the hill station, which are generally hill stations, you will find generally at a height. So you will find that the hill stations are colder. The temperature is less in hill station than the plain lands. Okay, so this describes the association of altitude, that is height, that as a factor controlling the temperature. Now we'll move to the next one. Next factor is distance from the sea. So now we will see how the temperature is affected by the distance from the sea. Now land gets heated up and cools down faster than the sea. So now we'll discuss this topic as distance from the sea. We all know that lands get heated up fast than sea. Land gets heated up fast than sea, and it cools down also faster than sea. Land is getting heated up faster and it is cooling also faster. The sea is getting time to heat up and it also takes time to cool also. So what happens during the day? The land is warmer than the sea. Obviously, as you know that the land gets heated up faster, so obviously the sea is taking time to heat up, and that means during the daytime the land is warmer than the sea. The hot air above the hot air over the land becomes lighter and rises, and cool air from the sea takes its place. So what happens? The land is hot. The land is heating up faster during the daytime. So what happens? The air that is present in the land, it also gets heated up. And when the air gets heated up, what happens? It becomes lighter. The air is getting heated up, it is becoming lighter, and what happens? It is rising up. So the air near the land, as the land is getting heated up, the air is also getting heated up. The air is getting heated up, what happens? It is becoming lighter, and as the air becomes lighter, it will rise up. Okay, and when the air rises up, what happens? That place is now vacuum. That a vacuum is being created. Then what happens? Then the cool air from the sea takes its place. So when the air near the land is heated up, it is becoming lighter and it's going up, what happens? The sea is still cooler. The sea is taking time to heat up. That is, the air above the sea is still cooler. So when the hot air is rising up, what happens? That there is a vacuum created. Now the sea air will rush to fill that vacuum. Okay. Then what happened? This is known as sea breeze. So this is called sea breeze. I think you understood the process. What happens if you see the diagram given in page number 127, you can see, and I have already told you in my last class, that air moves from high pressure area to low pressure area. Air always moves from high pressure area to low pressure area. And you know, low pressure means high temperature, and high pressure means low temperature. This you should always, this equation you should always remember, that air moves from high pressure area to low pressure area, and low pressure means high temperature and high pressure means low temperature. Now, as I was explaining you, what is now sea breeze? Sea breeze is now the first thing is that as the land is getting up heating faster than the sea, then what happens? The air near the land, it's getting heated up also, because the land is getting heated up, the air also becomes heated up. As the air becomes heated up, what happens? It becomes lighter and it moves up, it rises up, and then a vacuum is created. Now the air that is near the water or near the sea, that is cool, still cooler than the land air, right? So as the sea takes time to heat up, so what happens? That cool air, now it rushes to take that vacuum place. So as the air from the sea is going towards the land, that is called sea breeze. Okay, that is called sea breeze. Now what happens during the night time? Night time, what happens? At night, the sea is warmer than the land. As we know, as I told you, that what is happening, that the land is cooling fast, land is heating up fast, land is cooling fast. Now the sea is taking time to heat up, and sea also takes time to cool also. So what happened during night time? What is happening? The sea is still warmer, the land has cooled down, but the sea is still warmer than the land. Now warm air over the sea rises up. Now you see, that is now the opposite is happening. What was happening during the daytime, now the opposite is happening. Now what happens? The sea is now hot, the sea is warm. Now the air near the sea is becoming heated up, Now, because the sea is still hot and the land has cooled up, now the air near the sea, now it is heated up. So now the same process follows. As it is heated up, it will go up, it will go up, and it becomes, as the air near the sea is heated up, it becomes lighter, and now it will rise up. Now what happens, the again the air is rising up, then there is a vacuum created near the sea surface, right? Now what happened, and it is now replaced by cool land breeze. Now the air from the land which is cooler, then it rushes to take that vacuum place. So now the what happened during the daytime, now just the opposite is happening. Now the air is moving from the land to the sea. The air is now moving from land to the sea. That is called land breeze. So at night the sea is warmer, then the warm air over the sea rises and is replaced by cool land breeze. Okay, land and sea breezes have a moderating influence on the temperature of the coastal areas, and so they have maritime or oceanic climate. So this goes on from day to night. So daytime the sea breeze is moving. Now during the night time the land breeze is moving. So this happens, and this influences the temperature of the coastal areas, and they have maritime or oceanic climate. Now you will think that what is maritime or oceanic climate? So what happens in maritime climate, that they have fewer changes in temperature. Maritime climate, they have fewer changes in temperature. Okay, and one more term is there, that is places situated far away from the sea have extremes of temperature and thus experiences continental climate. Okay, so maritime climate, they have fewer changes in the temperature, while continental climate have extreme temperatures, extremes of temperature, that is the summers can be very hot and winters are freezing cold. So these are the extremes of the temperature, that the summers are very hot and the winters will be very cold when they have this continental climate. So there you learn about this oceanic climate or maritime climate, and continental climate. Maritime climate has very few changes in the temperature, while the continental climate have extremes of temperature, that is summers are very hot and winters are very cold. Okay, so this is the effect of distance from the sea as a factor controlling the temperature. So you must have understood now that the factors which control the temperature: latitude, altitude, and distance from the sea. Now we'll move to the next point, that is winds. So winds blow from warmer areas, raise the temperature of the places over which they blow, while winds blowing from cooler areas lower the temperature. So it's very obvious that when the wind is blowing from warmer areas and they are going to cooler areas, they are raising the temperature of the cooler areas. And the opposite happens when the wind is blowing from cooler areas to the warmer areas. What happens? They lower the temperature of the warmer areas and make it cool. Now next one is ocean currents. Now warm ocean currents increase the temperature of nearby coastal areas, while cold ocean currents decrease the temperature. It is again the same. It is very obvious that when the ocean currents those are warm, those are heated up, they will definitely increase the temperature of the coastal area, that area where you find this ocean currents, warm ocean currents. And when the ocean currents are cold, they will definitely decrease the temperature, they will lower down the temperature of that place. Now relief, slope of land, clouds, soil, and vegetation cover are other factors which influence the temperature of a place. Now what is relief? Relief is actually this is a geographical term which means lay of the land. Relief means lay of the land. It is again, one word is also referred to as a terrain. Okay, terrain, and it involves both mountains and valleys in the area. So relief is actually a terrain or lay of the land that includes both mountains and valleys of that area. Okay, so relief, slope of the land, and cloud, soil, and vegetation cover. Vegetation cover means the presence of plants. Okay, vegetation means presence of plants and trees in a place. So this presence of the amount of presence of plants and trees, if the presence is more, then the temperature will be different, and if the presence is less, then the temperature of an area will be different. Okay, so these are other factors which influence the temperature of a place. So in whatever we learned about latitude, altitude, distance from the sea, it also includes the winds, ocean currents, and even the relief, slope of the land, clouds, soil, vegetation cover. So all these factors, they control the temperature of a place, and they bring the changes in the temperature of the place. So from this topic, you should be very aware of this land bridge and sea bridge. I think this is very clear for you. Now in my next class, I will move ahead with atmospheric pressure. So till then, you just go through this topic, and we will have a discussion in our next class. Children, thank you. Have a nice day.